There's one habit that 93% of self-made millionaires share, and almost nobody talks about it. But before I reveal it, let me tell you something that might change how you see money forever. See, 5 years ago, I was broke. Not just low on cash broke, I'm talking sleeping on a friend's couch broke. And the craziest part? I was working harder than anyone I knew. 60, 70 hours a week. No weekends. No vacations. And still, at the end of every month, I had nothing to show for it. So why was I still struggling? Because I was missing something. Something that every wealthy person I've ever studied understood intuitively. And today, I'm going to share those 7 habits with you, habits that took me from rock bottom to real financial freedom. But I need you to promise me one thing: don't just watch this video. Apply at least one of these habits starting today. Because knowing without doing is the same as not knowing at all. They wake up before the world does. Not because they have to, because they choose to. Thomas Corley spent 5 years studying the daily habits of the rich and the poor. He found that 44% of wealthy people wake up at least 3 hours before their workday starts. Compare that to just 3% of people struggling financially. 3%. But here's what nobody tells you: it's not about the morning itself. It's not about being a morning person versus a night owl. It's about owning the first hour of your day before the world starts making demands on it. That first hour? That's where the blueprint for wealth begins. That's when you can think clearly, plan strategically, and invest in yourself without interruption. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, wakes up at 3:45 a.m. Not because he loves mornings, but because those early hours are the only time nobody is pulling him in different directions. If you can't control your morning, you can't control your money. They write their goals down, but not the way you think. A Harvard study followed a group of graduates for 20 years. They found that the 3% of graduates who had written goals earned 10 times more than the other 97% combined. 10 times. That's not a small difference, that's a completely different life. But here's what makes wealthy people different: they don't just write goals once a year on January 1st and forget about them. They write specific goals with deadlines, and they review them every single day. Every single day. Your brain is a goal-seeking mechanism. Give it a clear target, and it will find a way. Don't give it a target, and it will wander aimlessly through your day, reacting to whatever shows up instead of creating what you actually want. They read to lead. Warren Buffett reads 5 hours a day. 5 hours. Bill Gates reads 50 books a year. Elon Musk grew up reading for hours every single day. When asked how he learned to build rockets, Musk said, "I read books." But here's the critical difference: wealthy people don't read for entertainment. They read for advantage. They read biographies of people who've already solved the problems they're facing. They read about markets, psychology, negotiation, and human behavior. They treat books like cheat codes for life. The average person reads for escape, to distract themselves from their reality. The wealthy read for insight, to transform their reality. And that single distinction changes everything about what you get from every book you open. They build networks, not just connections. There's a saying: you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Wealthy people take this seriously, dead seriously. They don't just collect business cards at networking events. They cultivate deep relationships with people who challenge them, who inspire them, who hold them accountable, who see their potential even when they can't see it themselves. Jim Rohn said it best: wealth is not just about what you earn, it's about who you learn from. Your network is your net worth, not because of what those people can give you, but because of who they make you become. When you surround yourself with people who think bigger, who dream bigger, who act with intention, you can't help but level up. It's not magic, it's environment. They treat their body like their most valuable asset because it is. Richard Branson was once asked what his #1 productivity secret was. His answer? Working out. Not some fancy app. Not a productivity system. Working out. And when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. When you exercise, you increase blood flow to your brain. You reduce cortisol and other stress hormones. You improve sleep quality dramatically. You sharpen your decision-making ability. You literally become a better version of yourself for the hours that follow. The wealthy understand that physical health and financial health are not separate systems, they're the same system. You cannot build a fortune on a broken foundation. Your body is the vehicle that carries you to every meeting, every negotiation, every opportunity. Take care of it, or nothing else matters. They protect their peace like it's a vault. This one surprised me the most when I first discovered it. The wealthiest people I've studied are not the loudest in the room. They're not the most reactive. They're not the ones constantly arguing on social media or getting pulled into every drama. They are deliberate. They guard their mental energy with the same intensity they guard their money. They say no to things that don't serve their mission. They limit their exposure to negativity, negative news, negative people, negative conversations. They practice some form of stillness, whether it's meditation, prayer, journaling, or simply sitting in silence for 10 minutes before the day begins. Because wealth requires clarity. And you cannot have clarity when your mind is in chaos. Your thoughts create your decisions. Your decisions create your actions. Your actions create your results. Protect your peace, and everything else follows. And now, the habit I promised you at the very beginning. The one that 93% of self-made millionaires share. They give before they expect to receive. I know, this sounds counterintuitive. How can giving away money make you wealthy? But look at the data. Look at the research. The most successful people in every single field, business, sports, entertainment, technology, they all practice radical generosity. They tip 25% when others tip 15%. They mentor when they could hoard their knowledge. They open doors when they could keep them closed. They share credit when they could take it all. Why? Because generosity creates relationships. And relationships create opportunities. And opportunities create wealth. It's not magic, it's cause and effect. When you give, you signal to the world that you operate from abundance, not scarcity. And the world responds in kind. People remember generosity. People repay it tenfold. The universe has a way of rewarding those who create value for others without keeping score. So there you have it. 7 habits that separate the rich from the poor. But I want to leave you with something important. Knowing these habits means absolutely nothing if you don't act on them. So here's my challenge to you: pick just one habit from this list and commit to it for the next 7 days. Just one. Don't try to change everything at once, that never works. Start small, stay consistent, and watch what happens. Because wealth isn't built in a day. It's built in the small decisions you make every single morning. The alarm clock you choose to answer. The book you choose to read instead of scrolling. The relationship you choose to nurture. The workout you choose to do when nobody's watching. The moment of stillness you choose to protect. The generosity you choose to practice when no one's keeping score. That's where wealth lives. Not in the big moments, in the small ones. If this video helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more content like this, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.